The end of Italian football's secret advantage. What happened to the once Italian dominance in European football? The top division of Italian football was the place to be for every footballer. The golden era of Serie A is often considered to be a period from the late 1980s to the end of 1990s. During this time, it was widely regarded as one of the strongest and most competitive football leagues in the world. It had the glitz, the glamour, the fans, and it attracted some of the best players from around the world. However, as Europe's other top leagues developed and got better in time with foreign investment and quality and playing style, the Serie A remained stagnant. By the turn of the millennium, the cracks had started to appear and the fall of the giants began. An Italian team hasn't won the Champions League since 2010. Inter Milan's victory obscured the fact that the league was no longer competitive with the best leagues in the world. Even from a national perspective, the Azzurri failed to qualify for a second straight World Cup, which made the triumph at the Euro 2020 tournament appear to be a wonderful anomaly. Throughout this video, we will discuss several factors that have contributed to the decline of Italian football in recent years. The culture of match fixing has led the game to a state of extreme discredit, and it is now regarded as usual for an Italian club to have at least one controversy during each season. A succession of transgressions committed by players, managers, referees, and officials have dragged the whole game into contempt. It is possible to claim that the scandal that occurred in 2006 was the beginning of the destruction of Italian football. Initially investing doping allegations, the investigation that followed found that multiple Serie A clubs, as well as the Italian football and authorities, had considerable influence over refereeing matters, with Juventus general manager Luciano Maggi at the center of it all. It was determined that he and those in similar positions at AC Milan, Lazio, and Fiorentina were effectively choosing which officials referee their matches, ensuring such officials favored their clubs and were able to postpone matches if they preferred a later date. As a result, Juventus were relegated to Serie B and also stripped of 2 Serie A titles, while AC Milan, both Lazio and Fiorentina, were given points for their actions. Luciano Maggi, the general manager of Juventus, was given a lifelong ban from the sport. Since Juventus was playing in the second division, they were unable to participate in European football. This marked the beginning of the most turbulent period in the club's history. Whenever a team of Juventus's stature is relegated, the league suffers. While Juventus was competing in Serie B, there was no competition in Serie A. Inter Milan won the championship with a 22-point lead over second-place Roma. In the end, Juventus was forced to sell a number of their most talented players, with several of them leaving Serie A. Even though AC Milan was experiencing financial difficulties, poor management decisions, and a lack of investment in the team, the match-fixing scandal has not only caused the league to suffer in terms of losing players, but has also caused Italian football as a whole to be viewed in a different light as a result of the controversy. An extremely important aspect of the decline of stadiums and infrastructure is that to be successful, it is necessary to have sufficient facilities to attract fans to the games. On the other hand, England has some of the nicest and most modern stadiums in the world, which are capable of hosting a wide variety of events. Italy has fallen far behind. Serie A has a long history of producing some of the best players in the world, but in recent years, many clubs have neglected their infrastructure, which has resulted in a decline in the quality of their youth programs and their lack of investment in training facilities. This was the case when Italy lost out to France in the bid to host the European Championships in 2016. It wasn't much of a surprise, but rather only further proof that Italy's rusty stadiums and the accompanying fan culture are a major turnoff for outsiders. For Italian football in general, it was the loss of an opportunity to push for a government-funded overhaul of stadium infrastructure. Most of the major stadiums in Italy haven't been renovated since 1990, when the nation hosted the World Cup. Add to that the poor public transportation, we can understand why the match-going fan might not enjoy their experience. Serie A teams struggle to push through with redevelopment plans that can be long and arduous. Only Juventus, Udinese, Atalanta, and Sassuolo have club-owned stadiums in Serie A. The other clubs rent the stadiums for matchday purposes, which results in interminable bureaucratic procedures. Whenever infrastructure changes desired over the last 10 years, only 3 new stadiums have been built in Italy, compared with over 150 in Europe. Overall, the new San Siro is the clearest illustration. It took countless discussions, initiatives, and millions of dollars from both Inter and AC Milan before building could even be planned, and it doesn't appear like it will begin anytime soon. In recent years, the average Serie A attendances have dropped far behind major European leagues, in addition to the fact that matchday revenues are decreasing due to a shortage of money and the financial difficulties. Dusty old stadiums are another reason why matchday revenues are decreasing. The Italian game is well documented in comparison to the English, Spanish, and German leagues. The Serie A has had a significantly more difficult time with the financial crisis. The majority of club owners are fighting the financial troubles, and as a result, their teams are suffering. In the football season of 2020-2021, Serie A brought in a revenue of 2.5 billion euros, which is roughly half of the 5.5 billion euros that the Premier League, which is filled with superstars, brought in. There is no question that the emergence of COVID-19 has had a financial impact on every team. As a result of continuous restrictions on attendance in Serie A in 2021 and 2022, as well as less successful performances in UEFA club competitions, Juventus generated revenue of 401 million euros in 2021 and 2022, which is a significant decrease from the 460 million euros it generated in 2018 and 2019 before the company was acquired. In addition, Inter Milan generated revenue of 308 million euros in 2021 and 22 compared to 365 million euros in 2018 at 19 pre-covered 19. This is a deficit for the club. Even though it has continuously failed to sell international rights, Serie A is planning to auction its television licenses for the 2024 to 2027 season before the summer. Meanwhile, the earnings from domestic licenses are at risk of decreasing even further, as the number of subscribers has decreased from 51 million to approximately 2.2 million since 2015. There is a shortage of investment and revenue for Italian clubs, which means that it is becoming increasingly difficult for them to compete financially with other top clubs for the best players. Leagues, what does the future hold for the Serie A? What does the future hold for the leagues? In recent years, investors have begun to recognize Serie A as a source of promise that has not yet been fully realized. Investors from the United States also arrived at AC Milan at the same time as Chinese billionaire Stephen Zhang invested in Milan. Roma, as well as clubs that have fallen further down the ladder, such as Venezia, the footballers of Italy, appear to have made progress, as seen by their intentions to construct new stadiums. Evidence of a desire to bring about modernization. To this point, Napoli has been one of these stories of the 2022-2023 season. The team coached by Luciano Spalletti is currently in first place in Serie A and is making progress toward their first judo since the days of Diego Maradona in 1990. Napoli, Nation, Milan, and Insert made it to the Champions League quarter-final. It's the first time since 2005 and 6 that there are 3 Italian clubs in the final 8, more than any other country this 2022-2023 season. However, the 2022-2023 season has already been a challenging one for Juventus when news broke that they'd be deducted 15 points following an investigation into their past transfer dealings. The same investigators that found so much wrongdoing at Juventus also argue that there are major financial discrepancies across theory, and in total 11 clubs are reported to be of interest to prosecutors, hinting at how there could be further punishments to come unless these ongoing scandals are stopped. In the Serie A, stadiums are redeveloped and a vast amount of ownership investment comes into the league. Like the Premier League, then Italian football will only continue to be negatively impacted, unable to attract the best players and therefore losing interest from fans. Thanks for watching. Kindly like and subscribe for more videos. In the comments section of the post, please tell me how many you discovered.